going on, YouTube, fam? It's your boy Tony 2 times, and we back with another episode of Hood Tales, man. Before I start, be sure to tap that like button. Definitely watch this video to the end to hear the full story and all the details in the case. For the day one, fam, y'all already know it's all love. Thanks for tuning back into another episode. If you're new to the channel and you feeling the content, feel free to subscribe. Definitely hit that notification bell so you can be notified every time we drop a new video. Let's get right into the story. Addiction is one of those things many people don't like to talk about, but it's definitely real. And everyone has a loved one dealing with this, or maybe even been down this dark road themselves. The thing about addiction, it doesn't discriminate, have a color or address. It could be a middle-aged white man in suburban America or a teenage black girl in Miami, Florida. Me coming from Baltimore, Maryland, I know about addiction all too well. From family members, even being an open book, me myself had to fight certain demons and shake back. It can be a lonely road and embarrassing at times. You are not in your right state of mind, and your decision making might not always be the clearest, because whatever it is you are addicted to is in control. Most people will never talk about it or admit they are caught up because of fear of being judged or being in denial, thinking to themselves, I got it under control, not even knowing in the process you are losing yourself. When a substance has power over you, you might catch yourself hanging around certain people you wouldn't even associate with if you were in a sober mind state, or environments you wouldn't hang in. But that monkey on your back tells you, I just want to get out the gate so I can feel better and not be sick. But when you are dealing with addiction or people in the streets you barely even know, it's a cold game and no love or compassion is given. And on this episode of Hood Tales, we'll be taking it to Riverdale, Illinois to discuss the recent tragedy of a woman whose life was brutally taken over a petty street debt. 29-year-old Danielle Banks was described as a bubbly, outgoing young lady who loved to sing, dance, enjoy life, bringing happiness to everyone who encountered her, always with a bright smile on her face. On the outside looking in, Danielle was a young, beautiful woman, but inside, she was crying out for help. Danielle needed help bad after finding herself in the dark world of addiction. Things would start to go downhill for her, but she had family and friends who always reached out and tried to get her back on the right track and the help she needed, including her father, Ray Banks, who himself knew the feeling, dealing with his own addiction years prior, but now was 30 years clean and dedicated his life to helping others deal with the disease. But like many people, the embarrassment kept Danielle away and in the streets, looking to numb the pain. One day, the young lady allegedly went to cop her drug of choice, but it was on the arm or a front. For those not familiar, meaning you give me what I need now and I will pay you later. But when you are struggling every day with trying to get by, them few dollars don't come easy. Danielle had a $65 ticket, and the individuals she copped from wanted their money. On December 9th of this year, it was 3 a.m. in the morning when people at a home in Riverdale noticed a fire burning in the alley. As they called 911, the fire department rushed to the scene to put the blaze out. But once they did, they quickly realized they needed police, as it wasn't materials on fire, but a body. When police arrived to the scene, they found the person badly beaten, stabbed, and burnt beyond recognition. They took pictures of a watch and a tattoo of a rosary with the word faith wrote on it. No one in the neighborhood had any information or recognized the items or the tattoo, so local police went to the news. As they showed pictures of the watch, relatives of Danielle feared the worst. The victim was indeed Danielle, as an autopsy would confirm. Her father was devastated. He was trying to get his daughter help, but now it was too late, and the matter and cause of her death was brutal. As an investigation started, the streets were talking, as everyone who knew Danielle claimed she owed someone money for drugs. As people were interviewed, the names of 3 suspects would come up, 30-year-old Scotty Job Scott, 55-year-old Keith Bassett, and 39-year-old Latoya Larimore. The three were all picked up and questioned. A search of their cell phones and location showed they were all three in the area the night of Danielle's slam. A search of Latoya's phone allegedly showed she searched words like murder and burnt bodies. It's alleged the three lured Danielle to an alley. After being mad, she then paid a $65 debt. Played music, one song in particular, Kodak Black's Killing the Rats, to drown out Danielle's screams as they put hands on the young lady and sliced her so the neighbors wouldn't hear. Then set the fire to try and cover up their tracks. All three were held, taken into custody, charged with first-degree hit and other charges, and are being held without bail. After their arrest, Danielle's father spoke to the news about addiction and how he wanted so badly to get his daughter the help she needed. He wanted to remember her for the bright young lady she was before she veered off path. After 35 years of helping people deal with the same issues, he felt bad he couldn't save her and couldn't believe they took his daughter's life over $65. He stated the only thing that was bringing the family closure is that someone is being held responsible. Rest in peace to Danielle. I send my deepest prayers and condolences to her family. $65 is not worth a life, but if you come from that environment like me, you know people will always say it's the principle of the matter. This one hit close to home for me because I have had many family members suffer from this disease of addiction, including, rest her soul, with my own mother. I remember begging her to get help and wanting her to get out of Baltimore, as she told me stories of owing accrued money from the projects I was born in, Lafayette, and them snatching her up one night, taking her to an infamous park in Baltimore called Lincoln Park on Christmas Eve. I was like 2 years old. She ran off with their pack. She laughed and stated after they put hands on her, she pleaded with one of them not to take her life because she had a son. And one of the dudes asked, did you at least take some of their money and buy your son something for Christmas? She said, yeah. So they spared her and left her at the park. But unfortunately, that compassion doesn't exist in everybody. They allegedly did all this to that woman over $65, 3 20s, and a $5 bill. I know her father feels defeated because he is a counselor, but one thing I do know about addiction, you gotta want to get help. No one can make you. I believe Danielle probably wouldn't even been around them people if she was in a sober mind state. But unfortunately, she was around cruddy individuals, and it cost her her life. I get the street code. You owe me, pay, even if it's $5. But you gotta know when to hold and when to fold, because $65 is not worth doing a life sentence or taking somebody from their family. If you are dealing with addiction, trust me, you are not alone. It's a tough time, but if you shake back and fight hard, it definitely gets greater later. And remember, we gotta succeed not to fail, so we won't be just another hood tale. Man, it's a messed up story. Rest in peace, that young lady. I definitely send my prayers to her father. But yeah, I ain't gonna talk too much more about this one. Y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments. Definitely be respectful. I appreciate you if you made it to the end. Y'all already know it's all love, fam. It's another episode of Hood Tales. It's your boy Tony 2 times. I'm out.